Hanley's will lead us in a pledge of allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Lisa, can you read your opening statement? Is that roll call?
This is to advise the general public and to instruct that it be recorded in the minutes that in compliance with the Senator Byron M. Baer Open Public Meetings Act, the Casino Reinvestment Development Authority sent its annual meeting schedule for August 2024 through July 2025, setting forth the time, date, and location of this meeting to the Secretary of State's office in Trenton, New Jersey, and the office of the Clerk of Atlantic City. The notice was posted to the authority's website at njcrda.com and published in the Press of Atlantic City, the Courier Post, and the New York Star Ledger on August 13th and 14th, 2024. Members of the press will be permitted to take photographs of today's meeting, providing that it is done in a manner which is not distracting to the authority, nor interferes with the public's right to observe the meeting. Any member of the public who wishes to address the authority regarding items to be presented to the board today will be given the opportunity to do so. Comments regarding any issues that do not appear on today's agenda will be taken during the public comment portion at the end of the meeting. We ask that members of the public who address the board approach the podium and state their name for the record each time they speak on an issue. It is also requested that comments be limited to 3 minutes per issue. Michael Beeson. Chris Brown for the DCA Commissioner.
Here.
Dan Cosner.
Here.
Chris Blum for the State Attorney General.
Here.
Michael Hanley.
Here.
Michael Laughlin.
Here.
Brett Maddock.
Here.
Bill Mullen.
Here.
Paulina O'Connor.
Here.
Drew Closis.
Here.
Mayor Marty Small Sr. Bill Sproul. Bob Time for the State Treasurer.
Present.
Joseph Tyrell.
Here.
Chairman Mo Butler.
Present. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes from the March 18th, 2025 board meeting? Motion. Do you have a second? Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Yeah, 1 and 2. All right, we're going to go begin with the land use regulation and enforcement items on the agenda. The first one is Mohammed Bouyan. I think I got that right, Lance.
Bouillon, that's right. You got it.
Lisa, can you read the resolution?
Resolution of the Casino Reinvestment Development Authority approving a certificate of nonconformity pursuant to NJSA 40:55D68 for the property located at 2608 Pacific Avenue, Block 35, Lot 19, in the city of Atlantic City under application 2025-02-3783.
Thank you. Any recusals? Lance, want to walk me through it?
Sure, Mr. Chairman. This application comes to us as a certificate of nonconformity. You've seen quite a few of these over the past couple of years. There's an existing structure that has a residential unit on the second floor, a commercial unit on the first floor, and that mixed use is no longer permitted. The residential component of that is no longer permitted in the zoning district. Again, as you heard at our last couple of meetings, we will be changing that in our upcoming regulation changes. The site's located in the Resort Commercial District, and the applicant has provided information that shows the buildings that have been there in its current use and state since 1921, continued through current date. Where's John? There we go. I got it. No, let me go to the next one. There we go. There's the location of the site. It's on Pacific Avenue, Texas Avenue there to the right side of the page, and Albion just to the left. Street view, it's the building there in the middle with kind of the pinkish facade, with the commercial on the first floor and the residential there on the second. Again, a two-story brick building. They've had the property in this use since 1921, prior to the 1929 zoning ordinances and prior to the 1977 parking ordinances, which are key because there's no parking requirement back then, so they're allowed to continue the use without parking, without a variance. So we reviewed the application and we recommend that the board grant the certificate of nonconformity at this time. We did have a hearing on it in March 6th of 2025. We have received no public comments.
Thank you, Lance. Board discussion, questions for Lance? Public comment? There being no public comment, I would entertain a motion to adopt. Is there a motion?
Motion.
A second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes carried. We are moving on to Caring Inc. Lance, Lisa, can you read resolution?
Resolution of the Casino Reinvestment Development Authority granting bulk variances pursuant to NJSA 40:55D70C to provide a rooftop deck, rooftop access on the existing mixed-use building on the subject property located at 2611 and 2619 Pacific Avenue, Block 169, Lots 7 and 8, in the city of Atlantic City, under application 2025-01-3779.
Thank you. Any recusals? Lance, the floor is yours once again.
Okay, this application comes to us really just to convert the rooftop to a deck area, the residential component of the property. Rooftop deck, some of the improvements there would require front, rear, and side yard setbacks. It's really on a corner there, so it requires that relief. So they came in for that application. Also in the RC district, it's right in the same area as the last application was, right there on 2611 and 2619 Pacific Avenue. There's a site plan there. You can see on the corner, the building is on the corner. They did purchase the lot next door, and they're providing 9 parking spaces for the uses on the lot. There will be retail on the first floor or commercial on the first floor with the residential component above, 3 residential apartments above that. There's the aerial location of it. You can see right on the corner, Spray Avenue, right there just to the left, and then Pacific Avenue. And then the parking lot will be improved with ADA accessible parking and 9 total parking spaces. There's the facade of the building on, that's Pacific Avenue facade, and it looks like I didn't get one on Spray. Sometimes Google doesn't help you with that. You only get what they give you. The applicant requested the C-type variance for the front yard of 0 feet, for the roof railing where a minimum of 20 feet is required, and the side yard setback of 18.1 feet to that same roof railing where a minimum of 20 feet is required above 35 feet. The ordinance allows you to go 0 up to 35 feet, but as soon as you approach above 35 feet in height, you have to step it back. And they're not able to do that here. They wouldn't be able to have a deck up on the roof. And they need a side yard setback for a 10-foot for the penthouse, would actually allow the elevator to go up, put an elevator in. That little penthouse would pop up. That needs a setback 10 feet where 20 is required. We had a public hearing on March 6th. The attorney for the applicant, Hank Robillard, Esquire, introduced the application. Mr. Barnhart provided the required testimony with regard to the variances, talking about the mixed use on the property, renovation of the existing structure, and the commercial space, as well as the 3 residential units, and the parking lot on the adjacent parcel. It did not have that parking in the past. That was a good addition to the site. One of the reasons he used for granting the variance was just that. They're renovating the neighborhood, purpose A, general welfare, bringing activity back to that area, promoting the free flow of traffic by providing that parking lot, creating a desired visual environment, purpose I. In respect to negative criteria, Mr. Barnhart didn't believe, and we agreed with him, that there is no real negative impact of reactivating this property and adding to it by adding that rooftop deck. Both our planner and engineer agreed with that testimony. We received no public comment from anyone in the audience that day, and based on that, we would recommend that the board grant the approval as requested.
Thank you, Lance. Board discussion?
What's behind it? There was a building right behind it?
Right here,
Yeah.
that's, looks like there's solar on that roof. That looks like a side-by-side residential aspect.
And they don't have an issue.
There was nobody who came.
And
to
is
the-
that deck like to use for all 3 apartments? Is
Yes,
it a
yeah.
roof?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. And this is permitted because it's more than 1 unit above commercial. The ordinance says, as written, has an anomaly that if you're just doing 1 above commercial, multifamily is allowed in the mixed use, but not a single family. So that's one of the things we changed in our rules that are being proposed.
Public comment?
Mr. Chairman, could I just
Yeah, of course.
go through you to ask Lance?
Absolutely.
It's not his department. Any idea what these units will rent for? I know it's not-
We didn't ask that question. They're market rate, so they'll go probably in the range of $2,000 a month, something like that. They're getting that rate for something like that. Newly renovated. The place is some of the new apartments that were built in North Beach up here.
Yes.
They're going for 2,500 or so, but it's new construction. This is older stuff, so it's a little less. Right in the range of 1,800 to 2,000 or so a month.
It's still a lot for a working person to pay. There's no doubt.
Um,
Just that, you know,
this is-
we don't need to discuss it.
This would be considered workforce housing.
Yes.
That's exactly
No,
right
just-
in that range,
just-
so that's what they're looking at.
Any other board questions, comments? We'll go to public comment. Any public comment? There be no public comment, I will entertain a motion to adopt. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Is there a second? Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes carried. The following items have been reviewed and recommended by committee for board approval. First one is Tourism Market Expansion Project, Chicken Bone Beach Summer Concerts. Lisa, can you read the resolution?
Resolution of the Casino Reinvestment Development Authority authorizing an amendment to the Tourism Market Expansion Project, approving a supplemental fund reservation in an amount not to exceed $190,000 from the Tourism and Community Development Fund, and authorizing the Executive Director to negotiate and enter into a grant agreement with Chicken Bone Beach Historical Foundation Incorporated in an amount not to exceed $190,000 for the 2025 Chicken Bone Beach Jazz on the Beach Concert Series.
Thank you, Lisa. Any recusals? John, the floor is yours.
All right, thank you. Good afternoon.
I'm with Chicken Bone Beach. We'd like to thank you on behalf of Henrietta and Chicken Bone Beach Organization for your continued support.
Thank
My
you.
name is Derek Long. Thank you.
Before I get started, I just want to let you know that so
You
far
paid him
this...
to do that, didn't you?
Say what?
You paid him to do that.
Should have given him the whole thing to read. So far this grant period, in the first grant period of the year, $93,000 has been awarded. Just want to make sure everyone's aware. And also, you've been provided with the list of grants that we've awarded over the past few years, just as a reference.
Thank you.
By application dated February 7th, 2025, Chicken Bone Beach Historical Foundation has requested a tourism marketing grant in an amount not to exceed $190,000 to support 10 free Thursday evening concerts as part of the Chicken Bone Beach Arts Jazz Concerts at Kennedy Plaza on the Boardwalk. The shows will take place every Thursday starting July 3rd. Chicken Bone Beach has a 25-year history of providing quality musical programming in the city. The purpose of the shows will be to emphasize the importance of the arts and jazz in Atlantic City and to its visitors. They will also be recruiting children for free instruction at the Institute for Jazz Studies. We've supported these shows since 2019, with the exception of 2020. Last year's shows were estimated to have at least 800 attendees per show. They've submitted a budget in support of its application, and if awarded the $190,000, the funds will be used for artists, tech and event production, hospitality, and advertisements and promotions. The total cost of the concert series will be about $243,000, with the remaining funds coming from other sources such as Thrive Grant Fund and Atlantic City Community Fund.
Thank you, John. Board discussion questions? I know, for one, excited to, I know we support this sort of a legacy one. We support this every year. I'm excited to support it again this year. Public comment? I think we already got our public comment from our representative. Jump the gun. There being no public comment, I will entertain a motion to adopt. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Is there a
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes carried. All right, we're moving on to Tourism Market Expansion Project, the National R&B Music Society Gardner's Basin Concerts. Lisa, can you read the resolution?
Resolution of the Casino Reinvestment Development Authority authorizing an amendment to the Tourism Market Expansion Project, approving a supplemental fund reservation in an amount not to exceed $185,960 from the Tourism and Community Development Fund, and authorizing the Executive Director to negotiate and enter into a grant agreement with National Rhythm and Blues Music Society Incorporated in an amount not to exceed $185,960 for the 2025 free summer concerts at Gardner's Basin.
Thank you, Lisa. Any recusals? John, the floor is yours.
By application dated January 30th, 2025, the National Rhythm and Blues Music Society has requested a tourism marketing grant in an amount not to exceed $185,960 to produce 2 old school concerts that consist of classic soul and R&B artists from the 70s, 80s, and 90s. The Music Society is a nonprofit organization dedicated to preserving and promoting classic soul and R&B music. These concerts will be presented free and open to the public. We have funded these concerts in 2015, 2019, and then every year since 2021. The final number of those that participated last year was around 4,500 people between the two concerts. The dates for this year's show are June 21st and July 26th, with rain dates being the following day. All concerts will start at 1 and conclude around 7:30. The Music Society has received a grant from North to Shore to help sponsor the opening acts. The requested $185,960 will be used for artists, sound, backline, artist hospitality, tents, artist security, and production costs. Total budget for the event is around $205,000, with the remaining funds coming from outside sources. Also, the City of Atlantic City will sponsor the venue, dressing room suites, and the trash and recycling.
Thank you, John. Board discussion, questions? Public comment?
Yes.
My name is Stuart Bascom, spokesman for the National Art and Music Society, and we'd just like to take this time to thank the committee for bringing this forward to the vote, and for the board for their support and helping us to continue to bring quality entertainment to the city of Atlantic City and tourism value as well.
Thank you. Thank you. It's another one we're excited to support every year. All right, do I have a motion to adopt?
Motion.
Have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes carry it. All right, after this next one, John, you're done. Your
The last
job is
one.
done, okay? The next one is Tourism Market Expansion Project. Tony Mark presents Mardi Gras Summer Concert. Lisa, can you read the resolution?
Resolution of the Casino Reinvestment Development Authority authorizing an amendment of the tourism market expansion project, approving a supplemental fund reservation in an amount not to exceed $240,900 from the Tourism and Community Development Fund, and authorizing the executive director to negotiate and enter into a grant agreement with CM Funding LLC, trading as Tony Mark Presents, in an amount not to exceed $240,900 for the 2025 Mardi Gras AC Summer Concert Series.
Thank you, Lisa. Any recusals? John, bring it home.
All right. By application dated February 11th, 2025, Tony Mark Presents requested a tourism marketing grant in an amount not to exceed $240,900 to fund 11 Wednesday evening concerts at Kennedy Plaza. Tony Mark Presents is a live music production company which celebrates the legacy of famous Jersey Shore rock and roll club Tony Mark's. The musical acts are from a diverse range of categories, including classic rock, funk, blues rock, and Latin fusion, just to name a few. The concerts will be free of charge to the public. It will take place from June 25th through September 3rd. Shows will go from 7 p.m. until around 10:30. The authority has supported these shows since 2018, with the exception of 2020 and 2021, the pandemic summers. Last year, these 11 shows were performed for at least around 800 people per show, plus those passing by on the boardwalk for a song or two. Tony Mark submitted a budget in support of its application, and if awarded, the requested $240,900 will be used for artists, backline, hospitality, artist security, production management, marketing. The total budget for the concert series will be about $261,000, with the remaining funds coming from other sources. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, John. Board discussion, questions? Public comment?
Yeah, I'd like to
Okay,
thank the board.
I was-
Carmen and Nancy aren't paying me to say this.
Excuse me,
but-
really quick, I need you to
I'm
state your
sorry,
first and
Nate-
last name.
Yeah, Nate Shade, I'm a local resident and a longtime realtor in Atlantic City. I attended many concerts. Carmen and Nancy do a great job. They get world-class entertainment. If anybody in this room has never been there, I encourage you to go there, especially that we didn't have any beach concerts. We really, people look forward. They ask me all the time, where can I go? Where can I get entertainment? And Carmen does first class. He gets first class, world-class entertainment. So thank you for your support.
And thank you for your comments.
Mike Lopez, resident in Atlantic City, same thing, piggyback on Nate, from Chicken Bone Beach there, Henrietta and Nick, awesome, and being on the Atlantic City North to Shore Committee, so glad that the society, and then of course Tony Mark Presents, Blue Eddie the Cruisers, great, these are our beach concerts, so people, we have to be event driven, that's what we're doing here at the last meeting, so congratulations on all of you guys, and looking forward to going to the concerts.
Thanks, Mike. Any additional public comment? There being no additional public comment, I will entertain a motion to adopt. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes carry it. You can relax, Your Honor.
Is that now my cue? Can I speak now?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. We thank you so much. You know, we've been doing this for several years before the CRDA started funding this, like Chicken Bone Beach, receiving funding from other sources, going out and beating the pavement to get a little here and a little there, and we're really proud. Going all the way back to Pinky Kravitz, we did on the beach with Pinky's military parade. Was great. We had the Rascals that year, and we had the Charlie Daniels band. That was a phenomenal night with Pinky's parade and the Charlie Daniels band. We're so proud and we're so grateful to you for giving us the kind of support the city and the state and all y'all. John is so great. But we are bringing you something that is amazing. We are bringing you amazing diversity. Amazing diversity. Not only, let's talk for a second about the diversity of the entertainment. Everything from, you know, New Orleans Prince of the Neville brothers, Ivan Neville. And also from New Orleans we have Galactic. Galactic manages Tipitina's, one of the most famous nightclubs in the world in New Orleans. The keepers of the flame, as they say down there. And they're going to play on our boardwalk, and they're going to celebrate that diversity. And the Allman Brothers, Devin Allman, is bringing a whole blues summit, a whole festival in one night. You know, the son of Greg Allman, okay? He's going to sing Midnight Rider up there. But beyond all of that, and we have the Asbury and Philly stuff, and our own Dave Damiani's going to do a tribute to Quincy Jones, 10-piece orchestra tribute to Quincy Jones, and all of that. And in fact, from Philly that night, Jeff Bradshaw, who's a famous Philadelphia performer, plays with Joel Scott and Patti LaBelle and all of that. You know, he performs that night too. But beyond all of that, the age diversity is what I really want to mention, because as Mike said and others said, you know, we are providing this music, and we have to provide it for 30 to 60-year-olds. That's got to be our target. And we are bringing in bands, the jam bands, the Americana jam bands, the funk, the New Orleans rhythm and blues. We have a legacy in jam, because, I mean, in Americana, because Levon and the Hawks became Bob Dylan in the band at Tony Mark's. So we do all of that, and we like to do so much New Orleans stuff. But we want to bring people, and we really are focused this year on bringing 30-something to 60-something-year-olds as part of our marketing demographic.
Thank you.
And that's really important.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you for all that you did. All right, we're going to go to something less exciting, concrete services. Lisa, can you read the resolution?
Sure. Resolution of the Casino Reinvestment Development Authority approving Global Spectrum LP's award of the service agreement to Titan Shoring and Construction LLC for concrete services on an as-needed basis at Jim Whalen Boardwalk Hall in the Atlantic City Convention Center in an amount not to exceed $250,000 for the one-year period beginning May 1, 2025 and ending April 30th, 2026.
Thank you. Any recusals? All right, Tom, walk us through this riveting item.
Good afternoon, Chairman, members of the board, and our guests. On January 3rd, 2025, Global released a solicitation for concrete services on an as-needed basis, advertised in the Press of Atlantic City, Courier Post, and New York Star Ledger on January 3rd and 4th, and on boardwalkhall.com for the duration of the bid process. On February 19th, 2025, Global received two bids, one from following firms, AKA Construction Corp., including businesses Diamond Construction, and Titan Shoring and Construction LLC. One of the submissions would be non-compliant. Requested the boards approve Global to award a contract to Titan Shoring and Construction LLC for construction services, concrete construction services on an as-needed basis for 1 year, for not to exceed amount of $250,000. And once again, the reason we're doing a year is because we only received one bid, client bid, and we'll go back out and try to get additional bids next year.
Thank you. Board discussion? Public comment? There being no public comment, I will entertain a motion to adopt. Do I have a motion?
Motion. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes carried. Moving on to Jim Whalen Boardwalk Hall Historic Organ Restoration. Lisa, can you read the resolution?
Resolution of the Casino Reinvestment Development Authority authorizing the executive director to negotiate and enter into an agreement with Historic Organ Restoration Committee at Jim Whalen Boardwalk Hall to fund the restoration repair work on the Midland Wash and Kimball pipe organ, utilizing the annual Convention Center Division facility capital budget in an amount not to exceed $240,000.
Thank you, Lisa. Any recusals? Tom, you want to walk us through it?
Absolutely. So I'll give you a little background. On February 13, 2004, Historical Organ Restoration Committee, a 501c3 organization, was created to solicit and administrate funds for and to have oversight of the restoration of the historic Mid-Loche and the main auditorium in Kimball, the Agent Phil's Ballroom, pipe organs, and Boardwalk Hall. Previously, the authority had funded $500,000 towards the restoration of the Mid-Loche pipe organ through a direct agreement with the Historical Organ Committee pursuant to a long-term lease between the authority and the Atlantic County Improvement Authority. Both the Historic Boardwalk Hall and the pipe organs are subject to long-term stewardship, custody, and control by the authority. In 2015, the authority approved a fund reservation amount not to exceed $1 million for proceeds from the Luxury Tax Revenue Bond Series 2014, and negotiated and executed a grant agreement with the Historical Organ Committee for those funds. Now, pursuant to Resolution 24-162, adopted in December 17, 2024, the authority approved the 2025 Convention Center Division facility capital budget containing a line item for the Jim Whalen Boardwalk Hall reconditioning project of the organ in the amount not to exceed $240,000. We are asking the board to approve the executive director to enter into an agreement with the Historic Organ Restoration Committee at Jim Whalen Boardwalk Hall to fund the restoration repair work of the Mid-Loche main auditorium, the Kimball, Agent Phil's Ball pipe organ, with the fundings from the Convention Center Division facility capital budget, which it shall continue to remain in that for the ongoing years as part of the improvements to the building.
Thank you, Tom. Board discussion, questions for Tom?
If I could, Mr. Chairman, the CRDA owns the organ? Am I correct on that?
Well, it's in the building, so as we are stewards of the building,
No, we're spending a lot of money on something that we shouldn't have.
We don't own it, but we can't take it out.
Yeah, the big pipe organ is in the East Hall, the main arena, and that is actually owned by the Atlantic County Improvement Authority. We own West Hall, but we manage the facility.
Okay, yes, sir.
That makes sense?
Well, it doesn't make sense that the improvement authority should come up with some money, but it answers the question.
People do come in and listen to it every day, believe it or not.
Oh, yeah, no, it's a good thing. I was just curious who actually owned it, and now we know.
Yeah, every day, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
7 days a week,
they
right?
love it, yeah.
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 Like specific hours or?
Yes, if they're doing something.
Yeah, lunchtime.
Scheduled.
There's people walk through that building, 'cause I have an office in there. People walk through that building every day, look at the, all the cases in the lobby. So the
And they
building
run
does
tours.
draw people, it really does.
Erica said it's the largest instrument in the world.
It is.
Oh, wow, that's very
Not anymore.
No?
It's still the loudest, but it's not the largest.
Who beat us?
The Germans.
Okay, well, that's it.
It was the largest.
Largest in the United States. It's largest in the United States.
NJ Historic Trust, did
Oh,
they
yeah.
do it into a grant with them?
It's a historic.
We could, but we're into them right
Yeah,
now for
I know
the
you,
facade.
yeah, I didn't know if it would be a separate grant.
We have to weigh our needs.
I'm on the board, so I didn't know if it would be a
So
separate grant.
basically what this does, it provides them $240,000 a year. Over a 20-year period, I think they were averaging about $100,000, so it increases our ability to basically restore it in a quicker clip. So maybe it's 5 to 7 years that it gets restored instead of 10 or 12.
Public comment?
Yes. My name is Stuart Bascom, and I'm not really here in this capacity, but I am a trustee on the board of the Historic Organ Restoration Committee. And I really appreciate CRDA's support for this marvelous national treasure of an instrument, both the mid-melange organ and the Kimball organ and the Adrian Phillips ballroom, and really encourage your continued support for this organ.
Thank you for saying everything. All right, there being no additional public comment, I will entertain a motion to adopt. Have a motion?
Make a motion.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes carry it.
Thank you.
All right, moving on to even more exciting items now. Whenever John steps up to the podium, you know you're dealing with exciting items. Okay, guys, this is IT software purchase combo. Lisa, can you read the resolution?
Sure. Resolution of the Casino Reinvestment Development Authority authorizing the procurement of Commonwealth backup services from CDWG in an amount not to exceed $58,704 under state contract code T312.
Thank you. Any recusals? God.
Good afternoon. Commvault is a data protection and information management company based in New Jersey, specializing in enterprise backup and recovery software. This software is designed to protect, store, and restore critical business data, ensuring resiliency against data loss, corruption, and cyber threats. This is deployed in all our facilities to back up all our servers for CRDA.
Thank you, John. Any questions for John? Do any public comment? There being no public comment, I will entertain a motion to adopt. Have a motion?
Motion.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes carry it. We are now moving on to IT software purchase. I'm not even gonna try to, I tried it last time. So, what is it?
Umitsa.
Umitsa, okay. Lisa, can you read the resolution?
Sure. Resolution of the Casino Reinvestment Development Authority authorizing the procurement of an OMITSA software services renewal from Insight Public Sector in an amount not to exceed $53,142 under state contract code T3121.
John, can you walk us through Umitsa?
Omitsa provides enterprise technology management solution designed for IT lifecycle management and process automation. This is agentless software as a service platform. It integrates multi-source data from CRDA's existing IT security and business systems, creating a cohesive, accurate, and actionable asset inventory, improving our technology data hygiene and audit readiness.
Thank you, John. Any board discussion? Public comment? If you no public comment, I want to entertain a motion to adopt. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Do I have a second? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes carry it. Thanks, John. Whenever I see Maisha leave this area and up there, I know she's up. All right. Props is the next item. Lisa, can you read the resolution?
Resolution of the Casino Reinvestment Development Authority approving a fund reservation in an amount not to exceed $308,200 from the Tourism District and Community Development Fund, and awarding a community development grant in an amount not to exceed $308,200. The community is revolutionizing open public space to support its Atlantic City food security plan to install a food system tree.
Thank you, Lisa. Any recusals? Aisha, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good afternoon, everyone. Since 2016, CROPS has run programs in Atlantic City that address food insecurity at its roots. These programs include public community gardens that consistently feed hundreds of residents fresh Atlantic City grown produce from March until December, SNAP and WIC accessible farmers market throughout the city, which are doubled in SNAP dollars to spend at the market and doubled through the Double Bucks program. A paid internship to provide supplemental income and training in areas of growing food and business development, the Urban Coastal Agricultural Network Farmer Training Program, which trains residents of Atlantic City to farm outdoors and indoors hydroponically and build sustainable farming business throughout partnerships with existing food security in the city. Gardening and nutrition education, teaching participants about food as medicine, preventing chronic disease through eating nutritious foods and growing food at their home. By application dated February 26, 2025, CROPS requested financial assistance from the Community Development Grant in the amount of $447,250 to further efforts in the work that was created during year one of this program. Due to the authority's financial restraints, it is recommended the board permit authorization to establish fundraising in an amount not to exceed $308,200. At the close of 2024, Crops spent down majority of the fund reservation, leaving an unspent balance of $947.09. Crops submitted a budget in support of their application. The requested funds from CRDA will help the following categories: gardening, nutrition, education for consumers, produce education, urban farms, strengthening partnerships, marketing outreach. And I can say with Crops program in 2024, they probably exceeded way more than we expected. Anytime we're at an event, we always see Crops as partners with these groups with addressing food insecurities, not just from actually teaching Atlantic City residents how to grow food indoors and outdoors. And indoors is actually pretty impressive. Eric and I had the opportunity to go to one of the open houses and see these hydroponic contraptions. I know they have more recreating, but the hydroponic contraptions actually grow fresh basil and fresh lettuce right inside. And so we're not just, they're truly addressing food at its roots by teaching these people how to grow and how to feed themselves and create businesses. So I strongly recommend that the board supports this application.
Thank you, Maisha. Any more discussion? Public comment?
Yes. Mike Crowitz from Atlantic City.
There you go, Mike.
I think $308,000 is a slap in the face to the casinos that give this agency the money. I live in Atlantic City. I've never seen any farms, anything like that. They have a location at Tanger Outlets that's closed, and you're subsidizing cabbage and tomatoes. You guys have a checkered history with these grants. You gave $25,000 to the Atlantic City Gambits basketball team a couple years ago. Then they played no more basketball games. You paid $250,000 to Save-A-Lot. He was supposed to do some type of an expansion at the market. He's done nothing. So, I mean, you gave $157,000 years ago to find an operator for the ShopRite, and you see how that ended up. We have no ShopRite because of this agency. It's $308,000. You'd be better off putting up that light show at Boardwalk Hall in the summertime, or putting a welcome sign when you're driving into Atlantic City off the expressway. Welcome to Atlantic City. Then give $300,000 per who knows what. And they just got a new executive director not long ago. Everybody I heard got left or got fired from Crops. So we're in the subsidized food business now. It's ridiculous for $308,000, especially with the checkered past of the grants that this agency has given out. And you guys got audited in 2018 by the state, and where the Casino Authority agreed more money for Miss America, and then they didn't track the spending of it. So you guys, $300,000 is a lot of money for growing vegetables, and we're in somebody's house. I've never seen any farms at all. So I think this is ridiculous. You're supposed to have a full-service supermarket built.
Thank you. You've had an opportunity to talk. Thank you.
Mr. Hartz, I will, speak to some of your comments. And we also do have the executive director of Crops here. I disagree with you when you say they've all been fired. They have been the same organization, group of people that we work with since they came into the organization.
No.
They are.
There was a lady that started it in 2016.
Sir,
that she's from Linwood.
Sir, we allowed you to speak.
Yeah.
Allow her to speak. Thank you.
But that's factually inaccurate.
It's not.
Listen, I'm gonna have, if you keep this up, I'm gonna have to have you removed. So let her speak. We allowed you to speak. Go, Maisha.
And so with this organization, it's not just throwing the money away. It is addressing food insecurity here in the city. They have partnerships with the school board. They have partnerships with a lot of different organizations that we already fund. So this money is actually going right back into the city. It's a Atlantic City farm raised food that's grown here. And they're teaching the residents a new trade, how to actually subsidize and create a business for themselves. So this money is going to what it needs to.
And before you reply, we have the executive director here, so I would like for, thank you.
Sure, yeah. So my name is Alicia Newcomb. I'm the executive director of Crops, and I'd be happy to give you the whole report of the funding that we got last year. There is a map that shows all the places where the farms are throughout the city, as well as community gardens. So I'd be more than happy to give that to you. I brought some for the board, and actually I brought some invitations to our next open house at one of the sites where the farmers grow hydroponically. It's happening May 29th. So if you'd like a flyer, I could give it to you at the end. But I just wanted to say thank you to the board for considering a second year of funding. We do have 5 farmers in the program that are Atlantic City residents, and they've had a lot of success. And we actually just sent in our application to the Casino Control Commission to get certified for them to sell produce to the casinos. as well as, we're in the first, this is the first full month, we just completed our first full month with our funding through the NJEDA and our partnership with Atlantic County Economic Alliance. And one of our friends and colleagues there often says, like, it's a shame that we have such great growers throughout the region, and, now we're training people to grow it in the city, and that food goes to really expensive restaurants that a lot of people see when they're here on trips and things like that, but why doesn't that same really great local food trickle down to residents living here? And we're trying to address that by, creating a pathway where food from farmers that actually live and spend their money in New Jersey and in Atlantic County, their food is getting to everybody across the city, not just people who are here on vacation. But we think that addressing the food insecurity problem is something that is, it works in tandem with the building up of the hospitality and tourism industry in the city.
Thank you. And food insecurity, this board has dealt with this issue for many years. And I think it's universally recognized that it is an issue, an acute issue within the city. And your organization is clearly a part of the solution, right? And so we are happy to support it. We support it every year, and we will continue to support it. Do I have a motion to adopt this item?
Motion.
Do I have a second? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes carry it. We are now moving on to
Mr. Chairman, if I just could say, maybe to address some of this fellow's concerns, we do give out a lot of grant money in this room. And I know that you've told me it's very well monitored, because I'm the one that would push that. I want to make sure it's not going to somebody's brother-in-law, and they do a good job of monitoring this money.
How about just save a lot, $250,000?
Well, I don't want to get into specific things, but I'm just
You
telling you,
never expanded it.
Listen,
it's monitored very closely
this is
in
not,
this room.
We're not going. This is what we're not going to do. So what I will tell you, to piggyback off of Billy Mullen over there, is Maisha and her team and John, they put together a robust program around our grant giving. So there is transparency around when the application portal opens. There's transparency around what the metrics are that we're using to evaluate folks who receive our resources. And there's robust conversation between this agency and our grantees. I can't speak for the past. I can tell you what's happening now. And that is what we've put together here as a board and a staff to really address some of the most glaring problems facing this city. So I say kudos to Maisha, kudos to John, kudos to the executive team here, and to Crops for the work that you all do. All right. So let's move on to Atlantic Care Safe Beginnings.
I wanted to say
What?
one thing about public, but you moving on, because he took the floor. Can I say one thing?
Are you saying something about this item, or?
This item where, my issue, I'd like to address it before you move on. Okay, yeah. Hi, my name is Robert Whitfield. I'm standing up because I have a history, a track record on food insecurity. I have a different project this year, but I do have a track record on food insecurity. And I do feel that education is important in teaching the residents how to eat and all the wonderful things that CROP is doing in the community. But one thing I have to say is that, we still have food insecurity and prices are still high, and teaching is good, but being able to feed the residents is very important, and being able to shop at a decent price. So, I commend Crops, but we do have to give back to some small businesses so they can be able to give out food while they're doing the teaching. I understand what he means, but we need more farmers markets that going to sell for profit or nonprofit and give the residents, or either sell to the residents at a decent price. And I'm working on that project now. Thank you for letting me share.
Thank you. And so before we move on, just to be clear, Crops is not the solution. It is a part of the solution. So I just want everybody to be clear on that as we move forward. No, so we're moving on. Atlantic Care Safe Beginnings. Lisa, can you read the resolution?
Resolution of the Casino Reinvestment Development Authority authorizing the executive director to negotiate and enter into an amendment to the grant agreement with Atlantic Care for the Safe Beginnings Initiative to extend the term of the grant for an additional 8-month period through December 31st, 2025.
Thank you. Any recusals?
I have to recuse.
Maisha, will you walk us through it?
Yes. By request dated February 12, 2025, Atlantic Care has requested a no-cost 8-month extension for their Safe Beginning Initiative. This will extend the length of the grant through December 31st, 2025. The Safe Beginning Initiative seeks to address the root causes of maternal and infant mortality through the targeted approach for Atlantic City mothers and infants. Safe Beginnings in coordination is a coordinated response with 3 distinctive elements selected to preserve community trends and provide a combination of clinical and social supports and the expansion of existing services at Atlantic Care. Pursuant to Resolution 21-40 adopted April 20th, 2021, the authority approved an award of a 3-year community development grant in the amount not to exceed $1.3 million to Atlantic Care to establish a first-of-its-kind prenatal maternal health care program in Atlantic City named Safe Beginnings. Pursuant to Resolution 23-04 adopted January 17, 2023, the authority approved to amend the grant agreement for additional fund reservation not to exceed $134,000 for a reallocation of unspent dollars from year 1 into year 2 and 3 for a total amount not to exceed 1.4. Pursuant to Resolution 24-27 adopted March 27, 2024, the authority approved a second grant agreement authorizing reallocation of unspent dollars of $294,000 from year 2 to year 3 of the grant term. Approve adjusted the creation of a new budget line items for balance of the grant funds and allowed an extension of the waiting period to April 19, 2025. By their letter requested February 2025, Atlantic Care has requested this no-cost 8-month extension for their Safe Beginning program. They recently had a few changes in their administration who run the program, which is the need for the 8-month extension. Their hope is to actually fold this program out of the art pavilion and move it into, I believe, their healthplex, and just for the longevity so they can incorporate into their everyday practice.
Thank you, Maisha. Any more discussion? Questions? Public comment? There be no public comment. I will entertain a motion to adopt. Have a motion? Motion. Second? Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes carried. All right, Maisha, you're still up there. Moving on to New Jersey PAC, North to Shore. Lisa, can you read the resolution?
Resolution of the Casino Reinvestment Development Authority approving a fund reservation in an amount not to exceed $100,000 from the Tourism District and Community Development Fund, awarding a tourism marketing and special events grant to New Jersey Performing Arts Center, and authorizing the executive director to negotiate and enter into a public-private partnership agreement with the New Jersey Performing Arts Center in an amount not to exceed $100,000 to support the North to Shore New Jersey Arts and Innovation Festival, year-round arts education in Atlantic City.
Thank you, Lisa. Any recusals?
Yes. Me too.
Yeah, I have to recuse myself as well.
Well, if you're gonna have enough, I'm recusing myself.
We got it? All right, just me. Okay. Maisha, want to walk us through it?
Sure. By application dated March 12, 2025, New Jersey Performing Arts Center requested financial support in the amount not to exceed $100,000 from CRDA to focus on community partnership year-round through arts education, rather just 1 week of concerts during the festival. In 2025, NJPAC will revise their activities in Atlantic City. NJPAC will accomplish this by acknowledging the month of June is a busy period for tourism, and the preferred focus is on making a difference for Atlantic City and residents year-long by building partnerships with NJPAC has already developed in the community. The festival will kick off programming through a major event partner with Atlantic City, Base Casinos, for the presenter on June 14th, including numerous related community events on that weekend, followed by monthly activities. NJPAC is looking to host year-round arts education running from April 2025 through April 2026. For the last 2 years that the authority has supported North to Shore, it's just been for that week long that they're here in Atlantic City. But after last year, NJPAC came down here and had a community stakeholder meeting to figure out what the truly need was from Atlantic City. And out of that came the arts education. So they went on programs basically starting April of this year till April of next year.
Thank you, Maisha. Board discussion questions? Public comment? Mike.
Hi, Mike Lopez, member on behalf of NJPAC and the Atlantic City North to Shore Committee. I want to thank you you, appreciate it. We've really got to promote this big time. I mean, it's going to go out throughout April into September, so that's all. Thank you, appreciate it, and look forward to it.
Thanks, Mike. Any additional public comment? There being no additional public comment, I want to entertain a motion to adopt the motion.
Make a motion.
For a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes carry it. Thank you, Maisha. I know how much work you put into that particular item. It's not an easy one. We're now moving on to Bud City. Where's Mike Beeson when I need him? Lisa, can you read the resolution?
Resolution of the Casino Reinvestment Development Authority amending Resolution 2420. To change the name of the cannabis operator from Chelsea Beach Buds LLC to Chelsea Beach Buds by Bridge City Collective LLC at the subject property located at 2311, 2315 Atlantic Avenue, Block 280, lots 44 and 25, in the city of Atlantic City under application 2023-03-3420.
Thank you, Lisa. Any recusals? Lance, want to walk us through it?
Sure, Mr. Chairman. Good afternoon again. So this is a very simple application. It's an existing approval the board already granted back in 2024. They're looking to change their name from, as Lisa indicated, Chelsea Beach to Bud City LLC to Chelsea Beach Buds by Bridge City Collective. I would try to shorten the name, not make it longer. The minor site plan was approved back in February of 2024. It is for a Class 5 dispensary. No other changes to the plan, it's merely just a change in their name. I guess through their CRC approval, that's the name that they have to keep for the whole process. So we didn't have to have another public hearing. This is just coming before you guys today to amend the resolution by adopting a new resolution. That's all we're at.
Be self-explanatory. Board discussion? Public comment? There being no public comment, I want to entertain a motion to adopt the motion.
Motion.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes carry it. We're moving on to architectural services. Lisa, can you read the resolution?
Resolution of the Casino Reinvestment Development Authority awarding 3 professional services agreements to H2M Architects and Engineers Incorporated, Holly Sokolowski and Starter Engineering PC, and Settembrino Architects for architectural services on an as-needed basis, with an aggregate amount not to exceed $500,000 for the 2-year period, May 1, 2025 through April 30, 2027.
Thank you. Any recusals? Tom, the floor is yours, my friend.
Thank you. On February 11th, 2025, the CRDA released a request for proposal to engage one or more licensed architects to provide architectural services for CRDA on an as-needed basis. The RFP was published in the Press of Atlantic City, the Courier Post, and the New York Star Ledger on February 11th and 12th, and on njcrda.com for the duration of the bid process. On March 11th, 2025, the CRDA received proposals from the following 6 firms: Barlow, Government and Associates, H2M Architect Engineers, Paulo, Sarklos, and Sarto Engineering, or PSNS, R2 Architects, Senambaro Architects, and the Moozle Group. A review team made up of 3 CRDA staff members conducted a bid analysis to assess the firm's responsiveness, experience, and competitiveness of the rates on the fee schedule. 3 firms were deemed to be non-responsive for failing to meet the terms of the solicitation. The following 3 architectural firms were deemed compliant: H2M Architects and Engineers, although Sarkolos and Sarto Engineering PCs, and Senambaro Architects. We're seeking the board's approval to award contracts to H2M Architects and Engineers, although Sarkos and Sarto Engineering PCs, and Senambaro Architects for architectural services on an as-needed basis for the CRDA in an amount not to exceed $400,000 for a 2-year period beginning May 1st, 2025 and ending May 31st, 2027.
Thank you, Tom. Board discussion? Public comment? There being no public comment, I want to hear a motion to adopt the motion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes carry it. So we need the town meeting show for a little bit, so now we're going to plumbing services. Lisa, can you read the resolution?
Resolution of the Casino Reinvestment Development Authority approving the award of 2 as-needed contracts for plumbing services to Alaska Mechanical Inc. and JJM Plumbing Company in an aggregate amount not to exceed $400,000 for the 2-year period beginning May 1, 2025 and ending April 30, 2027.
Thank you, Lisa. Any recusals? Tom, floor is yours once again.
So once again, on February 11, 2025, the authority released a solicitation for plumbing services on a as-needed basis and advertised in the Press of Atlantic City, the Courier Post, and the New York Star Ledger from February 11th through February 13th on the CRDA's website from February 11th through March 11th. On March 11th, 2025, the CRDA received proposals from Alaska Mechanical and JJM Plumbing. A review team made up of 3 CRDA staff members conducted a bid analysis to assess the responsiveness and experience and competitiveness of the rates and the fee schedule of both those plumbing firms. Both submissions were deemed compliant, and staff recommends awarding a 2-year contract to each of those 2 firms.
Board discussion? Public comment? If you no public comment, I will entertain a motion to adopt the motion.
Motion.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes, carry it. We have 2 more times. The next one is General Contractor Services. Lisa, can you read the resolution?
Resolution of the Casino Reinvestment Development Authority awarding contracts to KHS&S Contractor Incorporated, Massive Building Company, and CN Ward Company for as-needed general contractor services for ongoing construction projects on property owned or maintained by the authority in an aggregate amount not to exceed $10 million for the 2-year period beginning from 1/2025 through April 30th, 2027.
Thank you, Lisa. Any recusals? Tom?
So once again, the CRDA released a request for proposals, solicit a proposal to engage 1 or more general contracting firms for general contracting services on an as-needed basis. The bid process was advertised in the Press of Atlantic City, the Courier Post, and the Star Ledger February 11th through February 13th, and on CRDA's website from February 11th through March 11th. The CRDA received proposals for general construction services from KHS&S Contracting, a massive building contractor, and TM Ward Company. All 3 general contractors were complied with the bid submissions. Based on the above, the review team recommends awarding contracts to all 3, KHS&S Contracting Inc., Massive Building, and TM Ward, in an aggregate amount not to exceed $10 million to aid us in pursuing the work.
Board discussion? Public comment? There being no public comment, I will entertain a motion to adopt. Have a motion?
Motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes, carried. And I think this is your last one, Tom. Architectural services increase. Lisa, can you read the resolution?
Resolution of the Casino Reinvestment Development Authority approving Global Spectrum LP's request to increase the current as-needed architect contract cap by $500,000 for a total contract cap not to exceed $1 million to cover the contract with Meta Architects for the fire code corrections and resolution.
Thank you. Any recusals? I have recusal on this one. Tom, you want to walk us through it?
And it's pretty simple. We've done the engagement. The board approved the engagement. We're looking to raise the contract cap for the additional services we require from our professional consultants on an as-needed basis.
Thank you, Tom. Board discussion? Public comment? There being no public comment, I will entertain a motion to adopt. Have a motion?
Motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes, carried. And this is our final resolution. And I see Sharon in position over there. Meet AC. Lisa, can you read the resolution?
Resolution of the Casino Reinvestment Development Authority approving Meet AC Incorporated at its sole cost and expense to lease and renovate the visitor center space at Jim Whalen Boardwalk Hall, and authorizing the executive director to negotiate and execute a lease agreement for a 5-year term beginning April 15, 2025 through April 14, 2030, with an option to renew for 2 additional 5 years.
Thank you. Any recusals? All right, Sharon, can you walk us through it?
Good afternoon, everyone. Pursuant to Resolution 2513, adopted in January this year, the authority authorized the reorganization of the CRDA marketing unit to consolidate it with the marketing function that is at Meet AC, to have a unified marketing function all located at Meet AC. Some of the marketing people actually run the visitor center also. So what we're asking for here is that once the marketing unit is one marketing unit in September of 2025, we're asking that we initiate a lease between CRDA and Meet AC so that they can lease the visitor center and continue the visitor center operation. The lease would start now, so that they can get a jump on rebranding the marketing that comes out of the visitor center and that comes out of VAC. The lease will be for a 5-year term, starting April 15th of this year, going to April 14th of 2030, with options for 2 renewals of 5-year terms.
Thank you, Sharon. More discussion, questions?
I have a question. So they stay put, but we lease to them.
Yes, the marketing people will still be at CRDA until September of this year, but we will immediately lease the visitor center to Meet AC so they can get a jump on their plan for rebranding and everything.
Understood, but they will stay there.
Yes,
In the
even
physical
once
location.
Yeah, they'll
Okay.
once they're consolidated, they will still
Thank you.
operate the marketing center at the visitor center.
Good. Okay, thanks.
Any additional questions? Public comment?
The former visitor center on the boardwalk where the people mover is, you know where I'm talking about? That used to take you to the sand. You guys own that property?
No,
You know who-
Atlantic City owns it.
Do they?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Any additional public comment? All right, there being no additional public comment, I will entertain a motion to adopt. Of a motion?
I'll move.
Have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes carry it. That commences the business portion of the agenda. We will now go to public comment.
I'm going to give you that.
My name is Rochelle Whitfield. I've come a couple of times recently and spoke about wanting to start a small business in Atlantic City. I'm third generation. My grandparents had the Whitfield Salon in Venice Park and Calvary Baptist Church in Pleasantville. My parents inherited it, and I'm an only child, so I've helped them and now my parents, and I've gone on to business school to try and hone my skills and help myself moving forward. So for the mention of the planning business that I gave last time, I named it Shelley Financials, and I would like to open a stationary budget business in the city, so I'm looking forward to finding a location for that. And the salad place that I mentioned before, I've been shopping locations and it's really, really hard actually to find that. So I narrowed it down and kind of focused on packaged foods, and I wanted to share the name. It's called Fitness Foodies, and I'd like to give business cards out before you guys leave so you can check the website. Thank you so much.
Hi, my name is Robert Newfield again, and I'm looking forward this year to opening up a for-profit and to be able to do a farmer's market in Atlantic City. So I'm working on that, even getting starter loans to be able to have decent prices for the farmer's market here in Atlantic City. So I'm working on that. And, coming back, I was kind of interested in the microloans here that was supposed to be started. But I think it's a great way to open up Atlantic City farmers market and be able to have some decent prices for people to shop for produce in Atlanta. So I'm working on that. So I just wanted to announce that to everybody, and hopefully I can get some funding.
And if you have questions on the microloan, you have the microloans are.
You got my contact.
Yeah, so make sure you guys connect.
Thank you.
Just for a raise of hands, who on this committee lives in Atlantic City? No, nobody? Okay, and does anybody on this committee or affiliated with any of the casinos in Atlantic City? So one out of all
So
the...
what is, please get to your point, sir.
Well, I'm just saying, have you guys seen the condition of the tourism district? It's in horrible condition. Empty, vacant lots, empty lots. The empty building that you guys bought a couple years ago, the former Delilah's nightclub, which I think you guys still own it on Pacific Avenue. You tried to auction it off, but couldn't get over $300,000 for it. It's a shuttered, empty business, and you guys own it right behind Boardwalk Hall. And Boardwalk Hall, you have 2 empty lots on both sides. You got an empty row of stores that my friend Bruce Toll built years ago. Has no tenants the whole time. And behind it on Pacific Avenue, you got drugs and crime. A couple months ago, it was even on Channel 10 News. So the tourism area, you're giving out all these grants, but the tourism area looks all run down, old, outdated, tired. That's where the emphasis from this organization should be.
Okay, that's your point. I just want
Yes.
to make sure. Okay, we got your point. Thank you, sir. All right. My friend.
Good afternoon, Chairman Butler and your other board members. My name is M.K. Thomas. I'm a 40-year resident here in Atlantic City. And I'd like to present myself to three distinguished board members. The representative from the State Treasurer. I want to address the Attorney General and the Department of Community Affairs. First to the State Treasurer. I'm concerned, I read data that the state pensions generate billions and billions of dollars. I have a list here somewhere around 63 billion. There's indications that the state treasurer generates $113 billion. So my question is any of that money could be allocated for development corporations to revitalize Atlantic City? If not, why not? Now I want to address the Attorney General and the Department of Community Affairs. I'm a resident in a senior building here in Atlantic City, the Best of Life Park. There's a bill that was presented, Bill S. 1769, I believe, that makes representation that the building should allocate 24-hour security. My building has been without a security for over a year. There's indications sometimes when there's fire alarms, there's no security there to let them in. There's been power failures, the elevators haven't been working, there's no security. And the bill stipulates that the Department of Community Affairs and the State Attorney General Office somehow make sure that these buildings are under standards. So my question is, what can we do about Best of Life Park, getting the security there for seniors?
Thank you.
I would say, Mr. Chairman, you have some very good points, and you should be helped with what you're doing, but I don't believe this has anything to do with the board itself. But I agree with you, sir, and it should be taken care of. But this board, not to supersede the chairman,
No, you're absolutely right.
is not involved in this.
Yeah.
Well, but can I get any?
We can refer.
Yes,
We
I
can
would
refer. That's what
I
I'll do.
would go
No,
to
I got
the
you.
Attorney General's office
Yeah.
and especially the CRDA.
Okay, perfect, okay.
I'll meet with you after the meeting. Thank you. Give you my information.
Perfect, thank you.
I just wanted to make one more comment because I'm an Atlantic City resident too, but personally, my financial status usually runs me into problems when it comes to applying to loans, the formal ones and the private ones. And it's not really easy shopping around for angel investors or hard loans. So I really would like to implore you guys to please make some type of system for the low-income residents that don't really have the credit repair abilities or partnering abilities to get access to funds, even if it is loan funds instead of grants, but make some opportunity, especially the residents who want to live and work here. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Any additional public comment?
Just to answer that,
Yes.
on Thursday of this week, the Atlantic City Library is running a proposal writing workshop for grants, I think primarily, but it could sometimes apply to loans also.
All right. There being no further business to come before the board, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Do I have a second? Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.
Stay there.